Now I would like to share with you a very important jurisprudential discussion that Maraja are having today when it comes to very long summer days in northern latitudes. As you know, as you go higher in latitude, or lower in latitude if you're in the southern hemisphere, basically the days become very, very longer in the summer. Here in Michigan, I think the time of the fasting becomes 17 hours and a half, maybe close to 18 hours, depending on how you're actually calculating it. But if you go to northern areas, north of Michigan, let's say, in a lot of European cities like London, Copenhagen, the fast could actually exceed 20 hours, 18, 19, 20 hours. A lot of people are finding this difficult, especially with their activities, especially youngsters, like a 9-year-old girl who has to fast, right? How can she fast 20 hours? There's a lot of concern. Most scholars, most maraja, they're still adamant that you have to go by the designation of the Qur'an until late. If it's not sunset or Maghrib, you can't break your fast. Unless you have a particular condition which stops you from fasting that long. Let's say you're fasting in Europe and you follow these maraja and you fasted for 18 hours. That's it, you're done. You're going to fall. You can't continue for 2 hours. The maraja say, okay. Over here, the law of necessity will allow you to break your fast. That's fine, because you can't take it anymore. But there is a group of maraja, and you see many maraja heading towards this opinion. They have re-examined these laws, and they are actually stating you don't have to fast these very, very long days, even when you're perfectly healthy and you can easily fast 20 hours. Their fatwa is you break your fast. Let's have a quick discussion on this fatwa and why they have stated this fatwa. Two very well-known maraja who have issued this fatwa in the last few years is Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Shirazi and Ayatollah Sheikh Makarim Shirazi. They are both scholars in Qom. There are 2-3 others who have stated a similar fatwa in Qom and in Najaf, but this is not a popular fatwa. Most other maraja would disagree, and they're still strict with their timings. But these two maraja have given the following justification for their fatwa, because there are a number of justifications. One justification that these two maraja have stated is the following. They have stated that when you examine legal rulings, whenever you have a subject matter in the Qur'an or in Hadith, that subject matter must be applied to that which is customary. In Arabic, we call this al-muta'araf. Let me give you an example. This is an example which many scholars, of course, accept, or in fact, all scholars. When you're washing your face in wudu, basically the wudu starts, the area that you have to cover vertically, starts from the hairline till the chin. What if you're bald and you don't have a hairline? Does that mean you have to start your wudu from, I don't know, the back of your head? No. Nobody has said that. Or let's say there are some people whose hairline starts right above their eyebrows. Right? What do? Or another example in wudu, the hadith states the horizontal area that you have to cover in wudu, not the vertical, is the distance or the space between your thumb and middle finger. Now, put this on your head. Usually it's not going to reach your ears, right? What if someone has very, very big hands? Very big hands, long fingers, abnormally long fingers, such that their fingers, in fact, extend to their ears. Do they have to wash this whole area? All scholars have said no. Why? They said whenever Islamic law designates a measurement, you have to go with the customary, the normal, the muta'araf. Anything that is considered an outlier is to be disregarded. What if someone has very small hands? If they want to wash their face, their fingers are going to reach their cheek. Does that mean they only wash this area and they leave this out? No. Because they are said, compared to the average population, your hands are abnormally small. So you don't go by the measurement of your own hand. Same thing with other things, like the shibr, which is a measurement that used, to calculate what a qur is, for example. This all goes by the muta'araf, that which is customary. Right? Let's apply it here. These two maraja and qawm, this is how they've applied it. They've said the following. They're like, Allah says, continue fasting till night. Which night? The customary night. You fast a normal day, a customary day. A day which is 21 hours long, and the night is coming at 11 p.m., 12 a.m., that's not a normal night. That's not a customary night. When you examine cities around the world, that's not a customary night. These are outliers. So the Qur'an does clearly state ila al-layl, but they're modifying the meaning of layl, and they're saying you have to take layl to be the muta'araf layl, the customary night. And at 12 a.m. for it to be night, that's not customary. That's an outlier. Therefore, you can break your fast before that time when you have fasted a normal amount of time. So let's say the normal amount of time is anywhere between 9 hours, let's say in the winter, till 17 hours. Most cities around the world, especially during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, when these laws were legislated, fall in this category. Anything to the north and south of that, in the southern hemisphere, is not customary. So their jurisprudential fatwa is, you don't have to fast until 11 p.m., until 10 p.m. This is for areas that are outside of that normal zone. This is the main fatwa. There are a lot of technical details involved, but I'm summarizing it for you. By the way, this also applies in winter. If you go to those very northern latitudes in the winter, let's say when Shahr Ramadan is in the winter, and you only have to fast 4 hours, these maraja are going to say, no, you can't fast 4 hours. Hey, it's night. Yeah, but that's not a customary day. A customary day is not 4 hours. So it works for you in the summer for those who follow them, but it works against them in 10, 15 years when it switches around, right? So a lot of people will be in Denmark if they follow these maraja, or other maraja who will have the same opinion by then. In the winter, let's say sunset is at 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m. Yeah, sometimes in northern Scandinavian countries it's 2 p.m. And when did they start the fast? Like 9:30 a.m., right? Those maraja are going to say, no, you can't break your fast at 2 p.m. You need to wait a few hours until it's a customary, normal, average time. Then you can break your fast. This is the main argument.